Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. Testing. Are we back on with the mic? Yeah, mic drop again. Mic drop again. Maybe confirm that we have the specifics. Pardon for that. It was just actually I got the note from Venus, and Venus, I was just shouting out to you on NVIDIA. You must have known I was talking about you. The 4 hourly on NVIDIA. Way to go. Way to trade. Just having some Rode microphone issues. We have a backup. I don't like the backup mic. So that's what we're at, where we're at. In terms of the details, talking real quickly to recap about where are we at on Tesla. Tesla crawling up and through a specific. Let's see if we can capture this in terms of cap line action. Nice job, guys. And up and out of that bull flag that we noted this morning. About a 2% if you capture the maximum of the drop to the preceding pivot to the left. Confirm. I think we have the specific sound now. It's just been an issue. Looking at NVIDIA also captured. And I was shouting out to Venus. You must have known I was talking about you online here on the stream, because yes, that specific 4 hourly did play again well, and boom. Very nicely done. Let's see if we have the specifics here. Let me see. Better. There we go. Let me see. Better. Let's see if we're better on the mic. We've got a rising wedge on Tesla. Pay attention on Tesla. We have a rising wedge feature in play. Not a bull favorite on the specifics here. You know, guys, we don't like them. We really don't like rising wedges. We're not fans. We understand if we carry in from a lower standpoint, from a lower framework, lower pricing, we're willing to let that fly. But it is difficult to say, hey, let's get into a rising wedge. Very trappy area around here. You all know that. So that's some experience speaking with you guys. You guys know that. Preaching to the choir on that one. What we'll say on NVIDIA, we do have this secondary framework of a bull flag. Another bull flag in play would be beautiful, guys. We have a curvature and handle for tomorrow. Would be nice, wouldn't it, just to see if NVIDIA, it's a risky call. I got to tell you guys, if you're the type that wants to sit down and fly into a hand of blackjack at your local card table, you might be looking at a nice move, potential fully to the upside of 3.21%. What makes this risky? Well, let's look at NASDAQ real quickly. The NASDAQ, guys, has a little bit going on in terms of a flat top. And yeah, we just closed New York, but to let you know, I just on the record, it's a little bit risky just saying absolutely, let's just fly into it. There are a few time frames on the NASDAQ that look a little bit iffy. Not really problematic, but just a little bit iffy. You can find a rising wedge on the specific NASDAQ as well, depending upon which time frame you're at. So I'm just never a huge fan of just launching into rising wedges. If you have been around for a while in the markets, you know it's just kind of good protocol. If you're trading into something, if you want to just launch into something different, maybe if you're looking at maybe a level of support on a rising wedge, as you start to stray from the level of support, especially up and over the level of resistance on a rising wedge, you start paying attention. This would be a nice one just because I got to tell you, where are we at on the daily? This is going to be the crux here. As we look at the patterning on NVIDIA, with a little more time, and you already know this, we've spoken about this in depth, but looking at a flat top, essentially, let's say a cup and handle formation here with a bit irregular curvature here, but the handle. And what I would say is that the specific feature here is going to be the daily 20 moving average. Prepared for action tomorrow on the open, prepared for action along this 20 potentially, right? We got to be prepared for it. And we've had some great trade opportunities last several days as we look at just kind of comb through NVIDIA here. I don't think there's been a day this week where we haven't had a good trade opportunity on the open. Without a doubt, that's exciting to be a part of, guys. Exciting market potential in terms of how you're approaching things. Continue to work on how agile you are in the market, how quickly you can assess. Remember, I brought up the idea of almost like flashcards, right? In terms of if you have 8 time frames, first of all, do you have 8 time frames up? Do you have more than that? Do you have maybe a screen with just MACD? Do you have, you guys look in the background here, do you have a screen with MACD? Do you have a screen with RSI? Do you have a screen multi-time frame? You don't have to go all out on this, but just to ask you, and I'll just bring it up to you, do you have the technicals at hand? If we were to look at the specific technicals here, guys, you may say that's just overkill. I don't need all of that. I will recommend you get at least 2 extra screens. Get 2 more than what you think you need. Just try it out. They're giving them away online. Literally almost, but get 2 extra screens. Make sure you have MACD. Make sure you have maybe RSI, your favorite indicators. How about 1 screen for just Bollinger Bands, over or under, to let you know based on all the time frames, 20 moving average? Yeah, are the bulls beating their average, or are the bears beating their average? It's one of the most fundamental issues you're going to look at over the last 20 time frames. Are the bulls beating their average over the last 20 increments, the last 20 bars in terms of time frame units, or are the bears beating their average? Are you over the 20 or are you under the 20? Right? You can look at the 50, no problem. Look at the 100. You can look at the 4, the 90. 18, the 21, you can look at a myriad, guys. There are a ton of averages to look at, but it's not just another moving average. It's the question, are the bulls beating their average activity over the preceding number of bars, be it days, be it increments of 8 hours, 4 hours, 6 hours? You guys got it. As you would we'd probably say 864 down through an hour to 30 minute, maybe the 45 into the 30, maybe 30, we'll go with it, 30, 15, 5, 3, and 1, right? So marching down to that, as you get into larger time frames, it becomes more important to know that, yes, the bulls are outperforming. The buyers are showing up, the bulls are outperforming. So before you just cast aside the specifics in terms of, well, the 20 moving average is not my favorite, find your favorite and make sure that you can look at and you allocate out. And you can allocate out, let me see, confirmed, good now, thank you, good. And I literally streamed today because I thought, you know what, this is nice, and it's an opportunity for us to see everybody. That's the bottom line. I was like, I can't exactly just travel up and travel directly to you, so I will stream. Hey, how's it going? Nice to see you. In terms of the detail, I would like to personally I would love to see the pop on NVIDIA tomorrow. We've got the problem above. Now, how would you diagnose this issue above? Let me pull this down just a bit here. How would you diagnose this issue looking at NVIDIA, just so that you know the protocol in play here. As you look at your crosshair on your screen, it's going to follow and it's going to match up throughout the different time frames, okay? So if I were to get down onto the daily and I were to, let's say that the critical issue here is going to be the specific, that specific bull flag here and that curvature and handle, which we can see on that specific time frame. You may need to zoom in. I always say, VIP, get a big screen TV. Watch this on a big screen TV, right? Because of the technicals. Now, if you were to go to this daily and hone in right here, if you were to look at this specific 20 moving average, yeah, you're going to see that we are where, and you really have to look at this, but please try to look up in this zone here. I can split this into two if you'd prefer, and then you can backtrack this. Let me do that so that you can definitely pay attention to exactly what's going on. Let me split this into two, okay? Now, let me rework. I don't know if I can undo that. I hope it lets me undo that. That's good. It'll let me undo that. So let me do this. Let me split this into two to show you the crosshairs and how they're significant from, guys, from one pane to the next, okay? If we have, for instance, and let me redraw this real quickly, we have the specific curvature and handle, right? And we would have, in addition, and this is tough. This is going to be tougher as we look at it. With the specifics, because these have played well. We're under the 20. We did do a good warning here. I like the bull flag. Everybody likes the bull flag. And some people are going to chide me for a bear flag. Once again, if you're a bull, you're a bull. If you're a bear, you're a bear. It's a little bit angled, the angle. I'm not crazy about the angle on it for a bear flag. It may absolutely lay waste to the notion that this is a bullish framework. Guys, if you're doing 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe we have a 5. Okay, that's what I would say on an Elliott wave basis. But looking at the framework, let's talk about the specific application that I want you to be aware of. Anytime that you're looking at a measurement on one specific pane here. Let me go to the settings. Let me go to the, if I can highlight the crosshair so you can really see what's going on. And I know that you know this, but I want to highlight this. I want you to understand exactly what's going on here. You see the crosshair here on the left. I'm going to go ahead and highlight the crosshair here on the right as well, so you can start to do some advanced diagnostics. Let me get through this in terms of crosshair. There we go. And let me go here. All right, now we've got this. Let me do this. The point here is the following, okay? As you're looking on the left at your specific pattern play with your targets to the upside, what becomes relevant? We know we're underneath on the daily. Let's go to the daily on the right-hand side. What's in question would be the specific 20 moving average, okay? We know on the left-hand side, the 50% completion, that 50 is the go zone. That's what we'd like to hit. If and to the extent we receive a breakout here, we may not, guys, receive the breakout, but if we do that, 50% is the hot zone. You know that, the maximum probability in terms of the completion to the upside. This is NVDA again. So looking at this, I want you just to be aware of the fact that automatically, a little off the screen, pardon, automatically what we're looking at is the following. We're looking at a coincident or a confluent crosshair between the 30-minute and the daily. Meaning what? If I go over to the daily and I lay into the specific 20 moving average here, what am I lined up with just about on that left-hand side on the 30-minute on the targets? Right in about that 50%, that sweet spot here. So that is a level of significance. You have to use some technical deduction and a little bit of work to get to that, but that's an important aspect as you look at this multitude. As I'm drifting through and working through the specific multi-time frames, if you'll set this up, you'll start to see some coincident factors or some confirmation between some levels, which may attract not just you, but the entirety of the bulk of traders out there, okay? So this would be a level of importance, that 50% of the 465, that is both the 50% completion on the 30-minute time frame and that specific 20 moving average on the daily, which is a huge level of significance there on NVIDIA. Right, so back to the norm in terms of how your trades are set up. If you need any assistance from me in setting these up, you just need to let me know, without a doubt. If you need a template, background, etc., kind of speaking specifically here, Venus, I know that you're here, so you let me know if and when, and to the extent that you need that. That's no problem. In terms of the setup, hope you're using the multi-time frame. I know that you are, and you've got multi-monitors. VIP have that. So in terms of, again, just to revisit Tesla, difficult. We're in a rising wedge. All right. And it's odd because you would say, well, it would have actually helped us potentially to drop down further and to have established a bit more of a framework within this measured move componentry to the downside, right? So buyers are really pushing and crawling up along this, reinforcing this. And it's just been one of those issues where we personally got in the back today and we identified what? We identified the fan formation. We've got a level of resistance, flip to support. We have another level of resistance, flip to support. And we even got the small pop at this level. You can just tell it's really pushing in. It's difficult. And we have a secondary, really this secondary micro working into this specific rising wedge feature here. So on the best bull day that you can find, the greatest bull days that you can find, you will find a cup and handle interpretation here, and you'll find the bulls ready to just literally lift off. It requires some momentum and some power, some volume. It's got to happen, guys. You know that. It's going to be cooking and you're going to be a part of it. Or if you're hanging around and languishing and the party starts to fizzle, it's going to, guys, it needs that momentum to pop through that level of, let's say, a cupature and handle. So, and we've got that dynamic here as well. Multiple variations, we would say, of a bottoming formation with, as we would look at this. It's just important to note what the market is bringing us. The specifics here, as we were to look at without the interruption of that rising wedge, if we were just to take a real bullish look at this, we'd say no problem. We are ready to go to the upside. In terms of that similar componentry on NVIDIA that we just looked at, I'm going to quick shot this up to the top and bam, we know we have that 50%. So if I'm looking at about a 2.91%, we're looking at about 1.5% right to the upside in terms of the totality of expectations. So what I'll say is we will certainly be around and excited about the drop shop. Let's just call literally the drop shop. That would be Tesla and NVIDIA on open. You got it, right? Or the pop shop, however you want to call it. But it was either a drop down into the cap line for hourly, or it was a nice hit into a nice short level. So if you had quick hands, Jackie Chan hands, we say that you got to have Jackie Chan hands. If you have those early on and ready to participate in the market, there are not too much more exciting things to kind of do, guys. There are not too much more exciting things to do. You know the routine in terms of cap lines, 20 moving averages. Our fire and ice is big. If you just have fire and ice on your screen, congratulations. Rock and roll with it. You're gonna find trade after trade after trade after trade after trade. There's a little bit more bare bones in terms of what we're looking at in terms of the just kind of the strategy that I want to make sure that you're aware of the 20. We'll start. Guys, we'll start and finish with that almost every day, but it's not something that we are solely subscribed to. It's just something in the trade book that we pay attention to. The problem here on Bitcoin, as we discussed, was the specific rising wedge on breakout, 15-minute. You know this. We have, again, kind of an irregular bottoming formation. If we were to look at something like this, and this is straight out of the equity handbook here, with this mid-level function wanting to get up and over this area here, which is a separate, and again, we have these irregular, essentially what we would really like here is a nice inverse head and shoulders. And we have kind of a defectively structured, something that's really pushing with some volatility and a touchdown at the $25,000 marker here. We just like some more symmetry. That's honestly what we'd be looking for, is some additional symmetry, rather than everyone just pulling up into the weeds here on how many rising wedges can we really formulate. That's just the question as we look at the potential for Bitcoin is just mired in that right now. That's just the bottom line. The specifics here on the 4 hourly or on the daily may differ a bit. Okay, on the 4 hourly, we do show that we have accomplished a breakout. So that's nice. We've accomplished a breakout of this specific structure here. Let me go to the daily and verify this in terms of, are we up and out on the daily? I'd say yes. We need to maintain this. Okay, we do need to maintain this. We do have an external line across the top, which will probably apply to both. But what I'll say is the top side, what we can verify right now, the top side pro line has engaged again. So that's going to be important because you know it engaged along the bottom here. Just keep your eyes on the larger time frames and the pattern dynamics. What we like on Bitcoin right now, if you trade a lot, and you do, What we like on Bitcoin right now is the notion that we have an expanding, it is included, but an expanding bottoming formation here, okay? This broadening bottom formation is has traded well. We would prefer to have a bit more of a clear trajectory to the downside without this interruptive portion here. That would be one preference, so that it's not part of a range, let's say a range aspect, but more so part of just a potential reversal signal. That's what we would prefer to see, without a doubt. So a bit compromised there. We will look at this level as well as a potential, clearly as a potential designated support line, carry up to resistance here as a target, which we've mentioned before on the daily. It's a valid target to the upside, and you'll note that clearly this specific framework has worked well in throughout this range here, part of the flag, which underperformed. We had those targets to the upside, still performed well, but it did underperform 25+%, I believe, in terms of how well it ultimately performed. But we could have gotten, 27+. We could have gotten much more out of that move. So we won't complain too much, but yes, we will note such as we assess what we're spending our time on, and Bitcoin has that volatility. It's got the nod in terms of the volatility. So we've got a bullish pattern over the daily, means that bulls are outperforming themselves over the preceding 20 intervals here, okay? That's a good thing. We're at the we're in a bullish phase, at least looking at that 20 moving average. I will, guys, be in the back. What I'd like to see, first of all, I'm on note here that any flat bottom support is an alert for me. Now, you guys know that anytime I see a flat bottom support on any time frame, you may wonder why we have so many time frames in the back here in terms of our studio. The reason why, Trade HQ, reason being because we want to catch the flat bottom support on any time frame that we're looking at, whether it be the 1 minute, 3 minute, 5 minute, 15, 30, 45, hourly, 4 hourly, 6 hourly, 8 hourly, you guys running on up ahead of that. But any flat bottom support becomes relevant to us. It just does. Let's take a look in the back. Let's roll. We look forward to being with you tomorrow. We'll definitely have the mic issue is resolved for now. So I think we've got it up and working. I appreciate your patience. Thanks for letting me know, Venus. Let's see what we got here in terms of Lucky ready to Algos to buy. Tesla looks ready for the Algos to buy. Yes, interesting in terms of Tesla. We'll be guys, streaming tomorrow. What my goal tomorrow is on the open, I want us to catch a trade. I want us to be able to assess the time frames quickly. I want us to engage in some technical dynamics just out of the back quicker than you can even think it can be done. I want us to be on it. You're going to have a delay, so don't wait for me to trade. That's the bottom line. If you guys are trading, you guys know I'm a former hedge fund owner, private, non-SEC, not financial advice. You trade, you let me know how it goes. We'll trade, we'll let you know how it goes, okay? But in terms of this, I want us to assess the market quickly, the dynamics, multi-time frame, looking at the opportunities and the pattern characteristics. Review that tonight. It shouldn't take too long. Just prepare yourself for some dynamics. We hope volatility is going to be a Friday. Hopefully it's not too quiet of a Friday for us to accomplish getting in a trade, hopefully in and out of a trade in the first, guys, 10, 15 seconds, 20, 25 seconds. Let's hit it. Let's do it. That's an open, right? An open that lasts, 10, 15 minutes or an hour or 2 hours. No, let's hit it. Let's get an open tomorrow. Let's try and get an open of 10 to 15 seconds and book a trade. Let's get good at doing that. I promise it's a lot of fun and it's worthwhile. This is London with Bitcoin Spike and VIP Trader. We will talk to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.